If you didn't know, by me saying it all week and by the title, Bad Creepypasta Drinking Game. Now, we're gonna start out with two classics. The two we're gonna watch first is Sonic.exe and Squidward Soup and Slide. I know you were all so afraid because Louis can't read. Louis sounds like a third grader reading. It's gonna be awful. Well, you know what?
You're goddamn right.
We're gonna listen to somebody else who has a much more soothing voice read it. Creeps McPasta, the OG. And the rules for it are, if there is blood coming from somebody's eyes, an oddly specific time frame, any form of hyperrealism, and any grammatical errors or typing mistakes. Let's crack this bad boy open. Inaugural sip. Oh, that's so fucking good. Let's get started on this.
I'm a total Sonic the Hedgehog fan.
Oh, so am
much
I.
like everyone else.
Oh, so am I.
I like the newer games, but I don't mind playing the classics.
If it's too loud, let me know.
I've never played glitchy or hacked games before. I was playing Sonic Unleashed. When the title screen popped up, I noticed that it was the first Sonic game. I was like, awesome. I like the classics.
And then he was like, and then I was
the first thing
like,
I noticed that was out of place was when I pressed start.
oh god, here it comes.
There was a split second when I saw the title image turn into something much different. It looked hyper-realistic.
Ah, fuck! Everybody take a drink. Let's go!
His eyes were pitch black and bleeding.
Ah, god fucking damn it, 2 in a row.
And his smile had stretched wider.
Oh, that's another, okay, the smiling is another one. I was gonna put a stretched or oddly strange smile. All right, so there's five requirements. Bloody eyes, a stretched smile, oddly specific time frames, grammatical errors, and hyperrealism. All right, drink to smile. God, this thing is so fucking, I could just chug this all right now.
After it cut to black, it stayed like that for about 10 seconds or so.
Is that oddly specific? I don't think 10 seconds is too oddly specific for a title frame. It's a rounded number? That is true, that is true.
What freaked me out more was the character select. It showed only Tails, Knuckles, and to my surprise, Dr. Robotnik. That's when I realized that this wasn't a glitchy game, it was a hacked game.
Hacked!
Yeah, it was really creepy, but as a smart gamer, I was just...
As a smart gamer.
The game froze for about 5 seconds.
5 seconds. It is pretty specific. All right, we'll drink to that. I think we should just drink for any seconds. Unless it's something like 30 seconds. I feel like that's not super specific, but when it's like 5 seconds, 10 seconds, I feel like that's a little specific.
And I heard a creepy, pixelated laugh that sounded an awful lot like that Kefka guy from Final Fantasy.
Why is it a
Before
combo of
black.
all different games?
The screen stayed black for about 10 seconds or more.
It stayed black for about 10 seconds or more.
The screen turned black and the static sound was off. It stayed black for about 7 seconds.
God fucking 7 seconds? 7 seconds.
I heard that creepy laugh again. That awful Kefka laugh.
Fucking Kefka
Right
laugh.
after 10 seconds had passed.
10 fucking seconds. Why is there so many in this one? Oh my god, I'm actually gonna die. I'm already halfway through my fucking drink. At this point, I'm starting to get freaked out.
The flying pose his sprite was in made him look very similar to Metal Sonic's flying pose in Sonic CD.
Why? He's mentioning so many specific other Sonic games. I am not a smart gamer, you're right.
Grin on his face.
Another fucking grin. You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Tails lay there and started crying for 15 seconds.
There's so many seconds.
And Tails looked up in horror. Blood started to come down those blackened eyes of...
God fucking... That was for you.
Sonic's as a grin slowly grew from his face.
I didn't think it would be this bad from the start. If it continues to be this bad, I may have to tone it down a bit.
Sonic lunged at Tails right before the screen went black.
That's
there was
hot.
a loud screeching noise that only lasted 5 seconds.
I can't do this. I can't.
His eyes were black and bleeding.
I'm drinking this way too fast and I'm starting to actually taste the alcohol in it.
And the screen cut to black again and stayed there for another 10 seconds.
I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my fucking mind.
But despite my fear of what happened next. I kept playing. The next level looked much different. It had the ground of the scrap brain zone, but the sky background looked like the main menu. It had the dark, reddish, cloudy sky.
Ah, finally some
But it was
description.
the music that creeped me out the most. It sounded like Geiger's theme, right after you beat Pokey in Earthbound.
Why is there so many other games?
In a split second, Sonic lunged at Knuckles, and the screen went black.
Oh, he's so
with
fast.
another distorted screeching noise that lasted for at least 3 seconds.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. 3 seconds. You had to specify that a sound played for 3, count 'em, 3 seconds.
Another message appeared. So many souls to play with, so little time.
Oh, I was gonna
Don't
say
you
so
agree?
little time at the same time he did.
I started to think Sonic was actually trying to talk to me through the game.
Is Sonic actually trying to
I
talk
was
to me?
brought back to the main menu, and this time, the second file box had Knuckles in the TV screen.
Don't do it.
His red fur had darkened to a reddish grey.
No, don't do it!
His dreadlocks were dipped with blood,
Don't do it.
and his eyes were black and bleeding too.
Fuck. What percentage is this? Am I actually gonna kill myself? Oh, it's 6%. Alright, that's not too bad.
I saw his bleeding black and red eyes.
Don't.
Grinning face.
Did he just say grinning?
Grinning face.
Oh. Fucking my eyes are bleeding at this point.
And there was a dark red curtain hanging above the top part of the screen.
Oh no.
Every 12 seconds or so,
Every 12 seconds, every 12 seconds, every 12 seconds, every 12 seconds or so. Every 3 seconds I put my balls in my butthole.
and then red static.
Oh no.
The red static lasted for about 15 seconds.
Oh no, not 15 seconds.
And then it showed me the most unpleasant image. The
Unpleasant.
image showed a
Well, that was quite unpleasant.
hyper-realistic of
No, he said hyper-realistic. We got our second hyper-realistic, boys. Leonardo DiCaprio pointing at the screen. He said the thing!
And when I say hyper-realistic,
When I say hyper-realistic, I mean like real.
he had the most
Don't do it.
horrifying smile.
Don't fucking do it! Okay, if he says eyes next, if he says bloody eyes next.
His eyes are wide and black, crying blood.
I'm going to kill myself. I'm drinking with you, don't cheat. I'm not cheating! You can hear me every time I take a swig.
Which
I
also
hope.
looked hyper-realistic.
I don't even think this guy knows what hyper-realistic means.
I stared at that gruesome image for a good 30 seconds.
No, we said 30 seconds. 30 seconds. 30 seconds is not exactly super specific. Did he say about 30 seconds or did he just say 30 seconds?
At that gruesome image for a good 30 seconds.
He said a good 30 seconds. I don't think that's too specific.
There was the text again.
Oh no, what
Well,
did it
was
say?
messed up, but it was pretty much one of the most horrifying things I looked at
No.
since I had this game. It read, I am God. As the red static screeched for a good 7 seconds.
Why does it keep changing? Why does the amount of seconds keep changing? Bottoms up.
Then, the computer shut itself off. I couldn't turn it back on no matter what I did.
Sonic's in my
I sat there for
firewall.
maybe 25 seconds.
25 seconds. Bottoms up.
After I sat there for 25 seconds, I heard a voice right.
Oh god. Thank god I don't have to read because I cannot read after this.
Sitting on my bed, staring right at me, was a Sonic plushie, smiling, with bloodstains under its eyes.
We couldn't escape for the last 10 seconds. Is that it? Oh, thank God. Did people make fun of this shit? I gotta read the comments. Hold on. Fun fact, I think this is the first story I've actually said hyper-realistic in a narration from Creeps McPasta himself. Next up, Squidward Stupenslide.
I was an intern at Nickelodeon Studios for a year in 2005 for my degree in animation. It wasn't paid, of course. Most internships
Relatable.
aren't, but to adults, it might not seem like a big one.
An internship at Nickelodeon Studios? Studios? You don't think an adult would think that's fucking amazing?
I'll get right to it without giving too many unnecessary details.
Oh, thank God. Thank you,
They had
sir.
very recently made the SpongeBob movie, and the entire staff was
Oh
somewhat
my God.
sapped of
They
creativity.
recently made
So
it.
it took them longer to start up the season. When SpongeBob and Patrick adopt a sea scallop, nothing particularly funny but work-related chuckles, so when we saw the title card, Squidward Suicide, we didn't think it more than a morbid joke.
Dude, that would be so fucking funny. Imagine you actually are in that position and you're an intern and you hear they're working on a new episode and you get to see it and what flashes on the screen is like fucking Squidward Suicide. Squidward hangs himself. That'd be fucking hilarious.
That isn't the oddest thing, though. What is odd is everyone had very realistic eyes.
Does that count? I'm pretty sure the original one said hyper-realistic, not really realistic. Hyper-realistic eyes, see right here. Why do you say really realistic? Why are you changing words on me? How am I supposed to trust this guy now that I'm getting my proper amount of alcohol? Bottoms up. He was trying to protect you. I live my life by honesty.
Some of us looked at each other, obviously confused, but since we weren't the writers, we didn't question its appeal to children yet. The unsettling part at this point is there's no sound, not even the feedback from the speakers in the room. It's as if the speakers were turned off.
Squidward, where are you
Though
going?
their status showed them working perfectly.
Squidward?
In the silence for about 30 seconds.
I thought I was free. I thought I was free. No, he said 30. Thank you for protecting me, sir. Ugh.
Then he started to sob softly.
Can you imagine that? Imagine like the sound effects like that. Like when he touches his eyes, and he's just like.
We watched this episode twice, so pardon me if things sound too specific, but I've had time to think about them.
How much time?
After 30 seconds of this,
All right, I'll drink. We haven't had a drink in a while. I'll drink that.
the lead animation editor paused and rewound frame by frame. What we saw was horrible. It was a still photo of a dead child.
What? Where did that come from?
It would seem the photographer was the person responsible for the child's death.
No. You mean the guy who was taking pictures of a dead, mangled child was a bad person?
The screen flipped back to Squidward, still sobbing louder than before. There was now what appeared to be blood running down his face from his eyes.
Dad, I was so close. I was so close. He said face at first, but then he specified.
The blood looked very strange to me,
Don't say hyper-realistic.
almost as if it was coming out of the screen.
Don't say it.
After about 20 seconds, the screen again twisted.
20 seconds. How can two authors be so specific with their time frames?
About 5 seconds after this second photo played,
God damn it. I'm halfway through my fucking second drink now.
he put his tentacles down, and his eyes were now a bright red.
Don't say they're bleeding.
They were bleeding.
You motherfucker, you hurt me! He was fucking edging me.
Bloodshot and pulsating, and he just stared at the screen.
Yo, they're
as if watching
pulsating?
the viewer.
Dude, I'm kind of pulsating myself.
After about 10 seconds,
He just said 10 seconds.
the eyes popped out and dangled, blood trickling down them. The animator proceeded.
Let's go!
It was hard to believe, but the next one was different.
Bloody eye? No, he didn't say bloody eyes.
The eyes popped out and dangled, blood trickling down them.
God damn it! He had to make sure that not only did we know that the eyes were out of the kid's skull and also popped, but we also had to know that they were bleeding. Because if we didn't know that, how were we ever gonna know?
Mr. Hillenberg arrived within about 15 minutes. He was confused as to why he was called down here, so the editor just continued the episode. Once a few frames were shown, all screaming, all sound again stopped. Squidward was just staring at the viewer for about 3 seconds.
Hey boys, come check this dead kids out. Hey, are these yours? Did you put this in here? Dude, that's fucking sick, bro.
Then the shot quickly panned out and that deep voice said, "Do it." And we see in Squidward's hand a shotgun. He immediately put the gun in his mouth and pulled the trigger. Blood and brain matter splattered all over the wall behind.
Immediately? Again, I'm just imagining, like, you're sitting there. Quickly, there's a flash of a dead child on screen with a hand pulling his guts out. Then it flashes to Squidward. Deep voice says, "Do it!" And then boom!
The analysis of the file did show it was edited over by new material. However, The timestamp of it was a mere 24 seconds before we began
Bottoms up.
That's it. Oh god, I just peaked my fucking mic. That's it.